noticed and made comments. That happened for anyone? Okay. What kind of company do you work for?
I work for a bank.
Okay. So would it be easy for you then to go to banks and just say, I want to talk to the manager. I work in a bank and I got all our employees. I lost weight and I got employees interested in this, and the whole office is more productive. So you kind of have a natural connection now to going in something like that. And see, that's what you have to look at. What are my natural connections? Who could I talk to that I can relate to? I can give them an idea of something I've done or that we did in my business or my company, and it relates to them because it's kind of a similar company. You see, it's looking for those connections. Examples, what do you do for fun? If you're into sports, if you're a former athlete, look for athletic associations. Look for ways you connect with people that do stuff you like to do. RVers. One of my coaches, she and her husband go on annual RV. So what we have developed is a flyer for her to use when she goes into an RV place. And what is she meeting? New people every time. People who have a little bit of money. People who should be concerned with health. So it's a natural for her. She's already there. What clubs or groups do you belong to? Well, I belong to my church. Well, great. Use your church. What about other churches? Could you speak at other churches? Could you be a minister to other churches, other women's groups, other men's groups? What clubs do you belong to that are social service clubs? Could you put together a presentation on diabetes and offer this to Rotaries, Kiwanis, places like that? You see, these are the kind of things that develop your sphere of influence. These are the kind of things that will help you develop your business through intention rather than accident. And if you want to build a business that will pay you a living salary, I don't mean just extra money. I mean enough to replace a full-time drug rep salary, then you've got to really make some demands of yourself in terms of meeting new people. What if you're part-time? All of this stuff you can do part-time. And most of these groups, since they're outside of regular business anyway, are things that you can do. However, even if you're part-time, and even if you have a job, you still need to dedicate some time when you can see people probably during work hours. Make an arrangement, whether it's a lunch hour or whatever, just because that's when, if you want to call on banks, you got to call on them when they're open. Where do you go on vacation? Do you go to timeshares? Do you meet people who are involved in things like this? Every time I see guys on Harleys, they're usually overweight. I think, boy, I'd love to go to Sturgis. Now, I'll come back to this, but I'm also building my business through intention another way. I'm very direct. I'm very direct with people because I have something to offer them. Now, not everyone would be as direct as I am, but I operate under a couple of premises. One, and I may be wrong, but it's kind of like, if you think the world's flat and that works for you, then it doesn't matter. It's still working for you. I believe that people who are overweight don't want to stay overweight, unless they're sumo wrestlers. They may have a thick skin, they may be cynical, they may believe they can't lose the weight, but I think if you said there's a magic pill you could take and tomorrow be your ideal size, they would all take it. I believe that. I believe people who are overweight know they're overweight. This is not a news flash. So me talking to them about being overweight inherently shouldn't be insulting, because that's where they are. So what now? Am I bringing it up to be derisive, to be critical, to be condemning, to be judgmental? Absolutely not. Am I bringing it up because I can help them? Absolutely. And you see, if my intention is pure, then I'm not going to offend. Will some people take offense? I'm sure. I'm sure they will. Since I have been doing this, I have found that I've met some people who will say something to me like, I love to eat and I don't care if I die young. But I haven't had anybody who's taken offense. And it's been really interesting to me. And the reason that I like being really direct is now I'm talking with people about what I do, and it's weight loss. I mean, I'm not talking to them about just being more healthy. I'm talking to them about losing weight. And frequently I'll do it with a picture. I'm going to show you how to come up with something that you might like and you might use, but it'll be your own, and you can tailor it the way you want. Now, what do you do when you have time off? And who do you like to hang out with? These are the kind of things that will help you find your niche. And when you find that, whether it's church groups, whether it's sports groups, whether it's movie buffs, whether it's French speakers, it doesn't matter. You suddenly now have an unlimited supply of people that you can meet and expand your sphere of influence. And of course, then we want to do all the things like asking for referrals and building a referral base. But if you don't have new people, you don't have new people that can give you referrals. And so it's, again, building through intention. What do you dislike? And here's the big question. Can you learn to like it? Because if you can't, don't commit to doing it, because you won't. If you say, I should cold call, I should just go make cold calls, and I'm going to do 10 a week or 20 a week. It sounds great, but you don't do it, and then you beat yourself up and you feel bad about that, and it creates kind of a vicious cycle of depression and not doing it, and now I don't feel like doing it, rather than finding something that you do like. If you do commit to doing it, do it. I was talking with a health coach who's down in Palm Springs, and she was telling me what she wants to do. And I said, well, let me give you a challenge. Commit to doing that one time a day. Now, is one time enough long term? Probably not. But is one time a lot more than she's doing now? Yes, so much more that if she can do one. See, what typically happens if you do one, it kind of breaks that barrier, and then you feel like maybe you could do another one. Maybe you do two, maybe you do three, but at least you've done the one. Do one 3 times a week. I mean, it doesn't matter what your parameter is. Set something, not that you can do, but that you will do. Because if you will do it, you'll accomplish something. Even if it's slow, it's still faster than doing nothing. It's still faster than hoping that someone notices, hoping one of your clients gives you a referral, hoping that you run into someone at Starbucks or at the checkout counter that develops into a client. All of those things may happen. They may not. And so if you want to develop a substantial income, it is being proactive and deciding what you need to do. Consistency then is the key. It's finding something that you like, that you can do, that you will do, and doing it over and over again. And one thing about this, it's being willing to recognize if it's not working for you. Now, I have come up with, I call them campaigns. I do campaigns, and I'll come up with an idea, and I'll think, this is what my campaign is going to be. So I'll give you some of my examples and what the results were. When Take Shape for Life first signed their agreement with the wedding gown company.
David's Bridal.
Yeah, David's Bridal. That's a great idea. And this was before they had any kind of flyer for it. So I went, made my own little flyers, really cool, I might add. Had a bridal gown and all this, and it said, lose weight before your big day. And I took them around to all the bridal shops in Portland. And I had stands and stuff like that, and the bridal owners, by and large, were very supportive. Oh, yeah, it's a great idea, got nothing from it. Now, I didn't follow up and cultivate. If I had been a woman, maybe I might have done it, because there might have been a more rapport between me and the bridal fitters, because they were primarily women. Didn't work, but I spent time doing it. Actually, I also went to alteration shops, because people getting clothes altered, what are they getting them altered for? You need to have them taken out. Very few people are getting them taken in. And actually, I did get one of the alterers got on the program doing that. But she also put a flyers up in her store. Now, will that generate anything? Yeah, but they're the breadcrumbs. They're the things that may happen. Had a lady call me the other day that she said, I've been carrying your card around for 6 months. Well, I'm glad she picked it up someplace. And where did she get it? From my dry cleaner, because I have cards there. And I saw a hair salon that was doing something cool. I thought, I'm going to do that. So I made a little flyer for the dry cleaner that said, mention Royal Shine Cleaner and get $10 or $25 off your first order, and punched a hole in and put a rubber band around through it, so that when people picked up the dry cleaning, you put them over the clothes. You know, that's one client. Well, actually, I got 2 clients out of that. So, you know, things like that can happen.